If you've ever wanted to know why you might wake up at 3 a.m. and why it seems like so many people wake up at 3 a.m. middle of the night, like what is it about that hour that's so critical? I want to talk to you about what is actually happening, because it's not just a random event that seems to allow people to wake up between 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. There is actually a little bit of science as to what is actually going on. And if you have a smartwatch, an Oura Ring, Whoop, or any of these kind of modern day devices, you can work out for yourself whether this is happening with you or not. All right, so let's have a look at our standard architecture. For those people who wake up during the night, who have one of these smart devices, this is something what you will normally see. So we have a breakdown here. So down the bottom here, this is our deep sleep. This is our light sleep. In this lighter area here, this is our REM sleep, and this is our awake time. So let me give you a quick understanding how sleep cycles work, because we do sleep in stages. The way we basically work, we go through some key times through our night. So the first key thing we have is our light sleep. And our light sleep, we're not really doing that much. We're just kind of chilling out, relaxing, allowing the body a chance to recover. So this is the first part of our sleep that you'll see up here is the awake time. The next part that you see through here is our light sleep. Once we get through our light sleep phase, the next aspect that's really important is our deep sleep. And you might hear deep sleep regarded as a physical recovery, and it's more important than that. Our deep sleep is the next component that is critical for you to have a good night's sleep. Then the next stage after that we head into is our active sleep, which is often known as our REM sleep. So we have our REM sleep here, we have our deep sleep here, and then we have our light sleep here. And we actually move through these cycles overnight in this manner. So for most of us, we should have about 5 sleep cycles per night. And as we go through the night, the sleep cycles actually change. So we start at the start of the night when you first get to sleep with a great focus on our deep sleep. So we go from light to deep sleep. And then as we cross through, and this is the critical time, as we cross through towards 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, we shift from light to deep sleep into light and REM sleep. And it's a different mechanism that we're activating and a different recovery we have. REM sleep, though, is very neural energy intensive. It requires a lot of energy to activate REM. Our eyes are moving along like crazy as we do this, and we're actually regenerating our brain and restoring it. Deep sleep, we're really activating our lymphatic system in the brain. We're clearing the brain out. But the key thing I want to talk about is why we're actually going through these stages mostly. And that is, as I said before, REM has a very high requirement for energy. Now, when we're not really eating and we're this far into the night, we've come all this way into our night sleep, our energy reserves are quite often start getting a little bit depleted. So we need a backup plan just in case our blood sugars drop a little bit low. And inside the cells in your brain, the ones that connect all your neurons together, called your astrocytes, we can actually store a little bit of energy in the form of glycogen. So one of the main reasons we go into our deep sleep is actually to store this substance known as glycogen. And during that time, we're building this glycogen stores into our astrocytes. And the main reason we're doing that is so that when we hit REM, the brain has a huge, enormous requirement for energy. And to do that, we can't just rely upon our blood sugar levels or other stored energy levels. We need a secondary source of energy, and that is our stored glycogen. So the reason this is so important is if during this phase you don't store enough glycogen, or you don't have enough deep sleep in these early aspects of the night, our astrocytes don't have enough glycogen in them, and the net result is when we enter REM, you basically don't have the energy reserves you require. So what you'll often see on your sleep stages when we look at this is these little moments where you're entering REM and straight away we get awake. REM, awake. REM, awake. REM, awake. And what you're really seeing is the brain trying to get into REM. It's trying to regenerate. It's trying to repair itself. But every single time it does that, it runs out of energy, which increases the stress, puts a workload on the brain, and pulls you out of sleep. And there sometimes can be so significant that it will actually wake you up properly, like really, truly wake you up and make you feel like you're starting the day when you're not. So this is one of the main reasons that we wake up throughout the night, is we're depleting that glycogen reserve. That can be because we're not getting enough deep sleep, or we're not having the nutrients and the requirements available to actually get the energy we need into those cells in order to regulate that. And there's a couple of key things that you may notice if this is really affecting you. The first one is it may affect your dreams. And that is, you may find that you don't dream. You may find that you're in the middle of a dream and you always wake up during that dream. The next one you may find is that when you wake up in the morning, you don't feel mentally refreshed. You still feel mentally tired. You feel mentally cloudy. There's this constant level of fatigue that overwhelms you, and your brain just doesn't seem like it's refreshing day after day after day. And there's a whole lot of other symptoms that go with this too, but I just wanted to introduce you to why you may be waking up during the night, and perhaps the reason why may not have anything to do with what you think. Anyway, I'm Trevor Chakouti from SpineWise. If you do have any questions and you want to know more about this, please post up. Stay tuned. I am going to do a little bit more of a video for you maybe next week, where I'll talk to you about some of the ways that you can improve this sleep architecture, get that energy level up, and maybe get that full night's sleep that you've been waiting for. But if you have any questions in the meantime, please post them up. Feel free to message me at any given time, and I'll catch you up in the next video. Bye for now.